Let's move to the next question. And the next question today comes to us from Laurie MacDonald, who writes, "Hi, John. Taking your advice, my boyfriend and I both got AMC A-List, good for you, and we used it, we used to the first time, I think you're saying we used it the first time to go out and see Incredibles 2. It was awesome. It's a great deal, but obviously it's not perfect. What are some ways you think that AMC A-List could improve?" All right, well, thanks a lot for the question. And it's funny because this came up last week as well. For those of you who aren't familiar, AMC A-List is now the new subscription service that AMC Theatres is providing. It's an awesome service. You pay $20 a month. It gets you 3 movies per week, not per month, per week, to any theater. You're not limited. You can go to see a Dolby, AMC Prime, IMAX, 3D, whatever you want. You can buy your tickets in advance, online, reserve your seat in advance, all that kind of stuff. It is a beautiful deal, all for $20 a month. No surcharging, no surge charges, nothing like that. $20 a month. It's a great deal. But it did come up last week. What are some ways they could improve? Here's the thing. When I see a lot of people suggesting ways the AMC A-List service could improve, it often revolves around AMC giving you more free stuff. That's not an option. AMC has to be able to make this financially viable. Like, they can't just give away all their money or else they're going to go out of business, right? So they need to come up with a way to give us, the consumers, a good value while also still being profitable and still being financially viable and sustainable for AMC. So obviously the answer isn't just give more free stuff, just give more free stuff. Well, that's how you equal bankruptcy eventually. Just ask MoviePass. So that's not the way to do it. So here's the big thing that I thought of. And honestly, a couple of people wrote this to me as well with the same idea. Here's what I think is the best thing they can do that doesn't affect AMC's bottom line, but would make things a lot more convenient for us as consumers, okay? So my wife, Ann, is getting AMC A-List. As things stand, you can only buy a ticket for yourself. I mean, you can buy a ticket for other people as well. Like, I can go onto the AMC app and buy 5 tickets, and one of them will be free because it's mine, and then it'll just charge me the rest for the other tickets. That's fine. But if my wife, Ann, also has an A-List, I can only buy a ticket for myself, pick a seat and say, "Ann, I got seat E4. Make sure you get seat E5 quick before somebody else gets it." And then hope that she's able to get that seat before somebody else does, right? What would be, I think, a great improvement for the service is if they allowed me the option of inserting somebody else's AMC A-List number and say, "Hey, I want to get 2 tickets to go see Incredibles 2 tonight. One for myself, and also it should have a little option box. Do you have another A-List member attending with you?" Click that box and then it should ask, what's their A-List number? Put in their number, and now you got 2 tickets, and then AMC A-List should email that ticket to that A-List member automatically. So now I've been able to book a ticket for me and my wife at the same time. She's got her own A-List. I've got my own A-List. It sends the ticket directly to her. They'll still ask her for her ID when she gets there to make sure we're not scalping the tickets. So it would just make things a whole hell of a lot more convenient. Now, there are some people who are saying things like, and I get where they're coming from, it's like, "Hey, why don't you offer me a plan where I can pay, instead of $20 a month, let me pay $40 a month and I can add a family member or 2. Well, the reason I think AMC doesn't do that is because by letting you have an individual pass, the idea is you'll go to movies with other people who would still be paying full price for their tickets, right? So that's actually a really nice business move on their part to make sure they can still make money. But if they gave us the option that if we already have other friends who have A-List memberships, and let me buy the tickets all at once and just input their A-List numbers and directly email them their tickets themselves, honestly, I think that would add a whole lot more convenience to it. I love the plan as it is, don't get me wrong. But if I think they were to do something like that, I think it would add a whole nother level of convenience to it without it affecting their bottom line or their business and offering me more convenience. It seems to me like that would be a win-win. So right now, to me, that's the number one way I think A-List could probably improve their service. Again, without taking money out of AMC's pocket, but still offering me more benefit. I think that would be a great thing to do. All right, let's move on to the final